Grey's Anatomy Season 13 finale. Did everyone survive the explosion? What a weirdly happy ending to such a stressful episode. On Grey's Anatomy, the hospital has exploded before, and doctors and children have died and nearly died before, but never has it just been one doctor and one of the children from Big Little Lies braving that exploding hospital alone before, while the other doctors just kind of wander around with no idea what's even going on. We felt like we were breathing in smoke for an hour. After the explosion started last week, Stephanie, Jerrika Hinton, and Erin, Darby Camp, were both still alive, but something had fallen on Erin's leg and Stephanie had to basically MacGyver a splint in the burning hospital room. Eventually, after much stress, Stephanie and Erin made their way up the stairwell to the roof, where no one could hear Stephanie's cries. Ben, Jason George, eventually remembered where he had seen Stephanie in the hallway, and he and the firefighters eventually found her desperately trying to keep Erin from coding. In trying to keep Erin alive, which she did, Stephanie ignored any advice to take care of herself, and wouldn't you know it, she passed out. Her co-workers expected this, and reacted relatively casually, which is usually a cause for alarm. This time, it wasn't. Stephanie ended up alive with some severe burns and a new lease on life, which led her to decide that she didn't want to only see the inside of a hospital anymore. She quit so she could see the world, her life, etc. etc. Honestly, after all that, we'd probably quit too. In the meantime, Marika Dominchik, officially cemented her position as the worst. She kept telling Meredith, Ellen Pompeo, to forget about the missing child and let the police handle it, and was in charge of telling the police that Edwards was missing. Of course, she forgot to mention Edwards to the police, meaning no one was looking for her except for the non-firefighter Jesse Williams, who got distracted by a patient suffering from kidney stones in the hallway. Bailey, Chandra Wilson, had finally had enough with Minnick's protocol and declared her fired, so clearly she agrees that Minnick is the worst. Good riddance. And in some other happy news, Owen, Kevin Good, and Amelia, Katerina Skorson, skipped the hospital on fire for a road trip to meet up with Owen's still-alive sister, and we were having trouble focusing on that storyline until they finally arrived, and 10,000 Miles was playing, and at the same time, back at Grey Sloan, Meredith was making sure Riggs, Martin Henderson, could breathe as she told him the news. She told him she was okay and sent him off to meet her, and the season ended with Owen watching his sister get loaded off of a helicopter. Owen was crying. We were crying. It was a beautiful tear fest, and this time nobody was dead. It's a Grey's Anatomy miracle. Grey's Anatomy will return to ABC in the fall.